Hi, I'm a landscaper and this is the Wannabe Composer series. I forgot what the camera was then. Here we go. Right. Today I'm doing a house track, a deep house track. I'm creating some sync libraries at the moment, and one of which I want to be a deep house sync library, so that's what I'm up to. So what I've got so far is a little bunch of drums. I've brought in a kick, kind of snare-ish. Don't really get heavy snares in deep house as a rule. Some hats, some other hats, and some other hats. Let me just solo some of this off. I've kind of spared you the boring bit of me putting all this stuff in and linking it up. But here we go. I've got a nice deep fat kick in there. Then dropped in this snare. Couple of hats. And a couple more little shuffly hats. I always enjoyed like house, and I liked a little bit of garage as well. And so I kind of like a little bit of the garage skippity chucked in there. And right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just mess about with a couple of different sounds. As usual, what I've done is I've already done a track before this one. So all this stuff that's loaded up is from the previous track. And what I'm going to do is just literally search for a sound and see what I think works. So come back to that. So what am I in a mood for? I mean, I would love to find, you remember that there was an organ sound, a bass organ sound. I know it'll be out there on some synths or other. It was really famous, but anyway, this could take a while. So again, I might pause this. Let's have a listen. Ooh. Freaky. Right, but no. Nah, too jumpy. That'll learn your ears. Ooh, not what I'm after though. They're such different velocities, these presets. Some are quite hard to use just because of how they jump about. And really, you should go in there and fix that problem. But at the moment, I'm just hunting. Okay, I'm beginning to think I'm not going to find my organ here. So let's head off. Let's have a look at some synth pads. I've also just realised something stupid. I've got effects on these. What an idiot. Anything with kind of fifths in it's a little bit tricky once you start adding other instruments. No, just for some giggles, I'll put it in. This bad boy. Now I'm not sure. I entirely like the bit that trails off. Feeling that? I don't know. I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm not sure. Not sure I'm feeling that. What I'm going to do is have a little look at Omnisphere now. for no good reason, just because, if it loads. Omnisphere 2, I'm still out of date. I need to get Omnisphere 3, but I haven't yet. So, again, I'm feeling synth at the moment. I mean, maybe I should look at some synth basses. Come up with a little bass line, maybe. Who knows? Bit aggressive for deep house. I don't do like that. Maybe yeah, it stacks up. Don't like that beginning bit. Okay, you know what? I'm sacking that idea off as well. A whole lot of sacking it. If I'm not feeling it immediately, I don't really want to do it. Right. I think this may need a slightly bigger play area. Let's try it. I don't know what I just played. First half I liked, second half, dog toilet. But you know, I'm going to keep that. I can't help but feel there's another half to be had there. Well, I just cut off too much. Yes, you're the one that needs to go, I think. Remain unconvinced. Right. Okay, so I think Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna set that massive off. I don't like it. I'm just gonna extend this out really far. See what will come up with. Epic, long form. I like that as a sequence, so I'm going to do a tiny bit of mixing to try and get that synth sounding little more tight with the drums. Space of the bass, even though I really likes the depth of the synth there. I might try and pull it up around this area rather than the sub. First sets of chords still not quite loud enough for me. So rest punches up to about there. Don't want them to steam in, but I do want them to loop nicely. So okay, I think that should probably do for now. Right, what else have I got here? Ooh, I love that sound, but I used it in my last track, so maybe I should look elsewhere. Again, bit heavy for deep house really, but you know, you hear a sound, you go, oh, that's cool, but will it be fit for purpose? I don't feel like it will. I've still got effects on it, I'm such a fool. That is a tasty sounding bass. Yeah. Now the question is, do I simply duplicate that track, sack off all the top stuff, so that it copies? Very lazy, very lazy. I'm not above laziness though, let's be honest. So let's have a listen. So again, I'm not sure if it's the done thing, but whatever. I fix the velocity so that it keeps the compression a lot cleaner, easier to set. I don't dislike the attack punch, but you can hear it clamping through. That's on the original sound, so what I might do, see if I can lessen that attack. Right, see if we can balance off the bass and the synth. I'm thinking maybe. What I don't want to do is bring the bass in yet. And I want to keep... I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to take all the bass notes out. I say all the bass notes out, I'm not going to take all the bass notes out. So they're all copied. I can leave those little trilly bits in there, see when the bass kicks in, so it's maybe not quite as harsh. I still need to sort this compression out, but I might do that a little bit later on, just put up with it for now. Just to try and get some more stuff going on before I lose the flow. Okay. What next? That has potential. Oh, I have no idea. so bar that one horrific note, that was not horrendous. Okay, so there's a lot going on there. But I think later on in the mix I should be able to balance it out a bit better when I've actually done some stuff to it. Let's be honest, it doesn't need a lot more to get going. Yeah, that's the old organ. That's quite nice as an intro. Could wind up being quite complimentary to that, so I think what I'm going to do is okay. I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to bring that back across, double extend. But I think maybe we do something more simple with this synth when it comes in, because the tail of that was quite nice, right? So let's just loop off a tiny chunk at the beginning here. I'll stop following that. So the follow button on Cubase, the F4 shortcut, which basically follows the cursor line here. If you've got a track selected, so I set up shortcut keys on my keyboard, you can probably hear me tapping away. I set up F is the follow, I think that's default. G and H are shrink and enlarge, and J turns your snap on and off up here, and that's quite handy for me working wise. Anyway, if you've got a part selected, so even though the cursor's over here and you hit G and H, it kind of goes to the beginning of the part that's selected, so which is only annoying excuse me, if you want to keep the cursor as your enlarge point. I don't know how to finish that sentence, but I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Right, back we go. that I can hear other stuff sweeping in around that. Not sure about some of those bits in the middle there, but I'm going to try and utilise some of this. I will mix that in a minute as well. Okay, I've faffed about a little bit with that. I am now going to start hunting for some little effects, and for that I'm going to look to Splice. Love Splice. Splice is great. Here is Splice, and we are going to just search for some sound effects, I guess. I set it to random just so that I don't pick the same ones everybody else does for definite. And then we're going to have a little audition. Let's just scroll through. So I'll probably cut this bit, but anyway, I'm going to find some little bits, drop them in, see what happens. Try this one. Got some potential. Ever so slightly too long. Do a little quick sizing time stretch so that works. Or not. There we go. Okay, we'll mix later. So that'll do for now. And now I want to kind of a couple of sort of weird hits and sounds and things. So again, I'm going to have another little search. Sort out the sizing, and I'll probably just keep the first one and then pop a bit of Valhalla shimmer over the top of that because I love it. can sort out volume mixing later. Let's get back on a hunt. It'll be a bit too loud, most like, but that's okay. Let's pop that there for now. Quite nicely. Got some spatial stuff going on. Interesting. Not sure it'll work, but let's find out. Some funky tings on this. Could get loud. I don't really want the fade out because I want to be able to balance that a bit better. So I'm going to take the bit that sounded nicest to me. Slight glitch in there. I'm just going to turn my snap off and I'm just going to fade in the ends and fade in the starts. And although you can hear audibly, you can hear the kind of drop. I'm probably going to get some reverb and stuff over the top, so it won't be particularly obvious in the mix anyway. But that's got a nice sound to it. Let's see if we can clean this up quickly. Got a little EQ. Take all the low end out of it. And the same with the super high end. I'm scrolling it till I hear an audible difference. And I'm going to give it a little crunch in the middle. Bring that initial impact down, but leave some of the reverb stuff around the edges. Then I'm going to try a little effect. So I've been messing about with Guitar Rig recently again, which I haven't messed about with for ages. Really like Guitar Rig. And I've been messing about with some of these for some choppy nonsense. Now some of these go really loud and some of these go quite quiet, so bear with it, might blow your ears off and might not. I'll try and edit that out later. That's quite cool. Now I kind of want some of the original coming through, so I'm going to try taking the mix down a bit. On all of these. And then we'll whack the volume up a bit. It's got a little bit of the original coming through now, which is cool. Let's whack it up so it gets the good volume. Have a little listen against the drums. Track here, isn't it, already? You know, Splice is insane like that. If you get writer's block at any point, honestly, hit up Splice. Well, I'll put a little bit of left and right on these two now, just for a bit of a stereo feel. I'll try and balance this one as well. So let's take those drums back off for a second. Reset this to 0. Take the gain right down in case it blow your ears off. Yeah, I quite like these two counterpointing left and right. That's quite nice. Gives it a bit of width. I'll give it a tiny bit more, I think. Take it up to like 25. 25, 26. And then I'm gonna run the same thing on those beepity beep beep beeps. I don't think I really need to do this. This is the higher one of the two that we're mixing now, the one on the left. It's probably easier to... So again, I'm going to take out any of that low. Don't really want that in there. And take a little bit of that clack off. And let a little bit of the noise through. I'm going to take some of that super high off though. There's something somewhere. And what I might try on this, excuse me, is a little bit of U-Jam. A tool here called Thin Micro. I'm just going to smash it up to start with, but it's quite good fun, this. Right, so you can basically just use it as like a fancy filter. It's got some different stuff. But of course, then when you come to doing like breaks or risers or whatever, you can use this filter technique to rise up as stuff's about to cut in, which is quite fun. A little too much for me, that one. That's quite nice. Okay. So I'm going to set it low. Just doing a little something. And then we might write some stuff in at the end here, I think. So let's just do a little rewrite. Rewriting that raise there. Then what I want to do is I'm just going to copy. Oh, I have to turn my snap back on first, otherwise I'll be copying random stuff. And I think what we'll do with the last one is we'll take that last one off, and we'll actually do broader curve on that one. Let's see how that works. Okay. So let's see how these stack up with the drums. I think my loop is slightly off course because I've left my snap off. I thought it was a bit odd. Right, I just need to check the timings of these things because I've just realised that my snap was off and I wasn't paying attention. Remember what I was saying about zooming in and it highlighted bits? They look okay. I'm not sure they do. Okay. Let's take two. Right. Let's see if I was barking mad. Oh, I was barking mad. It was absolutely fine. Assuming the front is good. Barking mad. I suppose what I didn't do, of course, and I should have done. No, I did do the time tempo. Okay, let's just take these four. Loop here for now. A bit too much punch in that bottom one still, I feel. Sounds like my son's coming up to bed.